Nancy Guthrie, 84, a grandmother with a sharp mind and fragile heart, has been missing since the early hours after January 31st. Her disappearance has shaken her family and the community. She relied on life-sustaining medications and a pacemaker, and without them, every hour increases the risk to her life. Nancy is not just a name in the news. She is a mother, a grandmother, and the bedrock of her family. Loved ones describe her as joyful, fiercely independent, and deeply caring. Her sudden disappearance has left a void filled with fear, uncertainty, and relentless worry. A beloved matriarch, Nancy's life was defined by love, resilience, and devotion to family. Widowed unexpectedly, she raised 3 children on her own: a daughter who is a trusted public figure, another devoted daughter, and a son living in Tucson. Friends and neighbors describe her as full of warmth, laughter, and unshakable hope. She took pride in her home, her garden, and her faith, providing her family with stability even amid personal struggles. Nancy chose joy and connection in her daily life. The loss of her presence is felt deeply not only by her family, but by her community, who remember her as a woman of light. Life at the Catalina Foothills home. Nancy's single-story ranch-style home in the Catalina Foothills was her sanctuary. Nestled in a quiet, upscale area, it offered privacy, desert views, and the feeling of safety. Her mobility was limited. She relied on a walker and avoided long walks or sudden movement. Despite her physical challenges, her mind remained razor-sharp. Chronic heart issues and other medical conditions meant she depended on daily medications. Any interruption to her routine could be life-threatening. Her home, once a place of comfort and laughter, has now become a scene of uncertainty, its quiet halls echoing with the absence of the woman who made it a home. The timeline of disappearance. Saturday, January 31st, began like any other evening. Nancy spent time with family, enjoying dinner and laughter. Around 9:30 p.m., she was dropped off at home. Her phone and pacemaker monitored normally until early Sunday morning. Between roughly 1:45 a.m. and 2:30 a.m., her pacemaker app stopped sending signals. This narrow overnight window has become the critical focus of investigators. By Sunday morning, friends and family realized something was wrong when she missed church. Their calls went unanswered, prompting immediate concern and a swift response from law enforcement. Every moment since has been marked by urgency and fear for her well-being. Discovery of the crime scene. Upon entering Nancy's home, deputies immediately noticed signs that something violent had occurred. Damage to doors and window frames, a small trail of blood, and other indicators confirmed this was not a voluntary disappearance. Investigators treated the home as a crime scene, recognizing the severity of the situation. The evidence suggested Nancy had been taken against her will, heightening the concern for her life. With her health vulnerabilities, the stakes were extreme. The involvement of federal authorities followed quickly, reflecting both the nature of the crime and the high-profile connections of her family. Each detail underscores the urgency of locating her before further harm occurs. The search expands. Monday, February 2nd, marked the second day of an intense search. Law enforcement deployed ground teams across the rugged Catalina Foothills terrain, using helicopters and drones to cover remote areas. Volunteers and neighbors joined in, checking homes and canvassing the community. Investigators examined every available camera and tracked vehicles, yet no clear leads emerged. The area's seclusion made the investigation more challenging. Despite the absence of obvious clues outside the home, the evidence inside was undeniable. Nancy had been forcibly removed. The search, however, continued with determination, fueled by the urgency of her medical needs and the hope that she could still be found alive. Urgent health concerns. Nancy's medical conditions make this case exceptionally time-sensitive. She relied on daily medications to manage heart problems and chronic pain. Even a short interruption could cause confusion, weakness, or life-threatening events. Doctors warn that elderly patients with pacemakers and complex medication regimens can decline rapidly without care. Her absence of basic medication and attention has haunted family, investigators, and medical experts alike. Every hour without treatment increases risk. Her condition underscores the critical nature of the search. While survival is possible with minimal intervention, the window for safe recovery is narrowing. The clock of her health remains a constant, silent threat. Escalating demands and public pressure. By Tuesday, reports surfaced of messages claiming to be from Nancy's captor, demanding a ransom in cryptocurrency. Experts note that the tone of these communications can indicate stress, which sometimes leads to mistakes. High-profile cases often see progress when captors feel pressure from media attention, law enforcement, or financial strain. Families and authorities continue to follow every lead, no matter how small. Each tip, observation, or surveillance clip could provide the critical break. Public awareness is crucial, with every potential witness or informant urged to come forward. Sustained attention has historically helped resolve cases, even when the victim is elderly and medically vulnerable. Challenges of investigation. The investigation faces multiple obstacles. Nancy disappeared in a secluded area with few neighbors and minimal traffic at night. There is no definitive trace of a vehicle or suspect outside the home. Surveillance systems have provided limited information, and social media and tips bring more leads than concrete evidence. Yet law enforcement, federal authorities, and volunteers remain relentless. Every detail is analyzed, from minor eyewitness reports to financial and digital activity. The focus remains on recovery, not speculation. The complex mix of high-profile media attention, medical urgency, and the remote terrain of the Catalina foothills makes every step of the investigation critical and time-sensitive. Statistical context and hope. While the case is dire, statistics provide cautious hope. Data shows that a significant portion of adult abductions with foul play indicators are resolved within the first 30 days. Elderly victims with medical vulnerabilities can survive longer than expected if captors cannot maintain care. Public pressure, media coverage, and law enforcement focus often push abductors into mistakes or surrender. While Nancy's condition is serious, her survival is possible if she receives minimal care. Every day counts, but history shows that breakthroughs can happen even in the second week. The key is persistence, both by investigators and by the community watching and sharing the story. The unanswered questions. As the 8th day unfolds, critical questions remain. Has Nancy received any water, medication, or basic care? Is the person sending ransom messages the same individual who abducted her? Has anyone in Tucson or surrounding areas witnessed something overlooked? Each unanswered question adds tension, but also focus to the investigation. Law enforcement urges the public to report even small or uncertain observations. Investigators emphasize that no detail is too minor. Every piece of information can lead to Nancy's safe return. The case is still active, and the response from authorities remains urgent and methodical, prioritizing both speed and accuracy. The family's unwavering fight. Nancy's family continues to fight for her return. Her children and loved ones remain vigilant, communicating with authorities and following every lead. Their resilience mirrors Nancy's own strength and determination. Public appeals, search efforts, and tip lines remain active, driven by hope and love. The community, volunteers, and law enforcement are united in this search. Each new day brings renewed efforts, every hour emphasizing the urgency of her medical needs. While uncertainty dominates, the family's commitment is unwavering. Their courage inspires continued attention and action, reminding everyone that Nancy's life and dignity are the priorities, regardless of the challenges. Keeping hope alive. Nancy Guthrie never sought the spotlight. She wanted quiet mornings, family dinners, church on Sundays, and meaningful time with her grandchildren. That life was taken from her unexpectedly. 8 days later, she remains missing, and the search is ongoing. Investigators, volunteers, and loved ones refuse to give up. Public awareness is essential. Tips, sightings, and small details can make the difference. Each call, each observation, each shared story keeps hope alive. The focus remains on bringing Nancy home safely. She deserves to return to the life she loved, surrounded by family, care, and the community that cherishes her.